Hello and welcome to another brand new video of this The Lazy Coder channel. Previous on we discussed about the face mask detection project, and today we are going to learn about a very interesting project. You can call it a hotcake right now during this pandemic, and it is implemented in real time as a solution in various countries. Yes, you might have guessed it right now. I am talking about the social distance detection project. So before I start the video, I am telling you two things. I am going to cover the algorithms behind it and the coding section explicitly throughout the video. So stay tuned till the end of the video so that if you are interested in data science, you are going to learn the algorithms and the coding section very explicitly of this project. And if you are not interested in data science, you might get interested.
Guys, before I start the video, make sure to subscribe my channel because I have a very few subscriber left to reach the 1000 subscriber line. A very good subscriber, like 980 subscribers.
So to start with, we are going to look at the algorithms first. This particular project is based on three other projects. First one is object detection, second one is object tracking, and third one is distance measurement between the detected objects. So we are going to look at the algorithms first. The first one is object detection. Here you can see it is object detection. We are using YOLO object detection, that is you only look once object detection transfer learning process. There are other transfer learning process for detecting objects like mobile net, SSD, RNN, etc. But YOLO is widely used. You will get tons of tutorials on YouTube for YOLO object detection. So I will not go deeper into this, and I will tell you the long story short. YOLO can detect over 9000 classes, and we are using the Coco dataset here, which is trained on 80 levels, but we only use the person class here. So among the 80 levels, we will only use the person class. After that, we will move on to object tracking. After the detection of the person class, we need to track them. So we will assign a new ID to every detected person and draw a box over them and measure the centroid of the box. So imagine this is a video frame and we have detected two persons over here. We have drawn boxes over them and measured the centroid of the box. Imagine this is the next frame and the purple one is the old centroid and the yellow one is the new centroid. Same is the case for here, and there is a new person detected over here. So how do you know that the person has moved from here to here, or this person has moved from here to here? This person and this person is the same person. How can we know? So for the assurance, we will Euclidean distance from the every point, from the every old centroids to the new centroids, and the close pairs will be detected as the same person. So YOLO is the new centroid for this person, and this YOLO is the new centroid for this person, and this YOLO one is totally a new centroid. So we will assign a new ID to it. See, it can detect that this person has moved head over here and this person has moved over here. So this point is a new one, so a ID is assigned to it. Clear? So when the centroid will disappear from the frame, if we cannot find this ID, for consequent 50 frames, we will deregister the ID from our array. So here is the object tracking algorithm, and now we will switch to the distance measurement algorithm. So after we have tracked the persons, we need to measure the distances between them. So how can we measure distance from person to person in a photo frame? This distance measurement algorithm is very much interesting. I am going to describe it now. Suppose there is an object over here and we have taken a photo from our camera so that we can measure the distance from our camera to the object. We were going to use these formulas for the distance measurement. Don't worry, I will make it very much clear to you. So here is our marker, that means our object, and it is our distance from the object to our camera, and it is our camera's focal length. So you have understood that the f is our camera's focal length. The p is how much pixel it is covering in the photo. Okay, how much pixel the object is covering in the photo, and the d is our distance, and the w is our object width. Okay, so at first we have to determine our camera's focal length, and using this focal length in the formula we can easily measure the distances. Okay, so let's have an example. Suppose our object width is 10 and our distance from the camera of the object, let's say 5, and the pixel it is covering, the object is covering, let's say it is 20. Okay, so 20 into 5 is equal to 100 divided by 10. So we got our focal length is equal to 10. Now if we let's say we are measuring the distance from here, our camera is now here. Okay, it is our camera and we are measuring the distance from here to here. So our focal length is how much we got? I think 10. Okay, so the pixel it will be covering will be less than before because we have greater distance than before. Okay, so let's say this pixel is 10. So our focal length is 10, our pixel is also 10, and width was, I think it was also 10. Okay, so 10 into 10 divided by 10, so we got our distance 10. Previous one we got our distance 5. Okay, now we got our distance 10. This is a random example with no predetermined value, so the result may seem peculiar. If this distance is equal to 5, this distance is not obviously going to be 10. But I think you have got the algorithm. So we have covered all the 3 algorithms that we needed for our social distancing detection. So we are now moving on to the coding section. So for coding I am using Google Colab so that I can train my model on GPU. Later on I will be showing the process of training the model on CPU. Okay, so I have divided my coding into 3 sections, that setting up the variables, creating the people detection functions, and grab frames from video and make prediction measuring distances of detected people. Okay, so let's dive on to the variable portion. Okay, so minimum configuration we are setting is 0.3, that below which our detections are weak detections and we have to filter it. Our NMS threshold is 0.3 also. It is basically for drawing the boxes over the detections. I will be discussing it later on. And the minimum distance, safe distance in pixels are 50. So we have set our variables, and now we will create the function of detection of people. Okay, so we are importing NumPy and CV2, and we are declaring a function whose parameters are going to be frame, net, ln, and person IDs. Okay, the frame we are grabbing and we are going to extract its coordinates and put it into H and W, and we are going to declare a empty list, that is results. Okay, then we are using our blob from image function and to construct blobs from our grabbed frames, and this is our scaling factor, this is our target size. We are setting swap RB true and props equal to false. Then we are forwarding basically these into our neural networks, into our EOL object detector. Okay, and we are creating our empty lists over here, boxes, centered, and confidence, and for output in layer outputs. This is our layer outputs. What we are doing, we are just extracting the class ID and the confidence. Okay, so here you can see that we are sorting our scores that is detected, and we are using it to determine the class IDs and the confidence. Okay, so now if class ID is equal person ID and confidence greater than minimum configuration, what we are doing, we are just detecting the boxes. Okay, so we are taking the detection array and multiplying it by these coordinates for scaling. Okay, and then what we are doing, we are just taking the integers of these coordinates and we are determining the left of for the drawing of the box. Okay, then what we are doing, we are just appending into the boxes, centers, and confidence what we have declared as empty over here. So now what we are doing, we are just applying non-maxima suppression so that our weak detections or overlapping bounding boxes can be filtered. Okay. So what is non-maxima suppression? Suppose a people is detected and it is detecting 4 or 5 boxes near his face. So what is the perfect box? Okay, so by non-maxima suppression we can detect the perfect box over his face. Okay, so we are using this so that our boxes are not weak detection or overlapped, and then we are moving forward. At least one person is detected, then we are updating our box coordinates and appending into results and returning the results. So our people detection function is created, and if we call detect people in the later section, we can easily this function can easily detect the people and return the result. Okay, so we are coming to main part of our coding section. Here you can see from google.colab.patches import cv2 underscore imshow. cv2.imshow is not supported in Google Colab, so for this I have to import this line of code. Okay, and then we have to import our distance function. Okay, from scipy.spatial and numpy argparse utils cv2 and os we have to import. Basically you can do it without the argparse over here, so it is a good practice to use the argparse in the encoding, because if you run it by the terminal, changing the input variables, you can easily what should I say, you can easily see your performance over multiple files. Okay, so here you can see the arguments are input, output and display. I have parsed the arguments in this line, so I am using this pedestrian.mp4 for my input video, and I am naming my output video as my output.avi, and I want to display my output. Okay, so display is equal to 1. I have uploaded the files actually in my drive. Here you can see the file section. Okay, drive and my drive and social distancing digit. You can see that this pedestrian.mp4 is over here. Social distancing detector, YOLO, COCO, output API. Okay, all are here. So I can here you can see that these label paths and these weight paths and config paths is these file paths actually. In YOLO COCO you can see here COCO names, COCO configuration, COCO weights. This path actually is provided over here. Okay, so now we are moving to the video accessing. So we are using cv2.video capture to capture the frames from the video. If we parse the input, it will detect from the video that we have parsed. Otherwise it will detect from the webcam. Okay, and you can see while it is true, while it is grabbing video from the webcam, it is bdstream.read and grabbing the frames. Okay, if not grabbed, we are breaking this loop. Now we have to resize the frames we have got, and here we are using our detect people function. Okay, so and storing it in the results variable. And now what we are doing, we are just setting an index that violates our condition. Okay, if len results is greater than 2, we are extracting all our centroids and measuring the Euclidean distance from all of them. And what we are doing here, if our distance is violated, we are adding their centroid coordinates. We are adding here the centroid coordinates, and here you can see that we are setting up the colors for green and red. Okay, it is our green color and it is our red color. Okay, then what we are doing, we are just drawing rectangle over our detection and drawing a circle in the centroid, and we are putting the text that social distancing violation, and we are print length of the violate variable what is over here. Okay, And next we are just end of the coding part. If we want to display, if we pass our argument display is equal to 1, it will show your frame in your screen, and if you press Q, you can break the video showing in your screen. And it is for writing your video, that if you want to print our output, if you want to make video of our output, this portion is for this. You will easily understand these things, so I am not going deeper into this, so that my video is not more lengthy. Okay, so now we will execute our code. To execute, we have to set it to GPU at first. So for this, go to edit portion and notebook settings. From there, hardware accelerator, you should set GPU. GPU, I have already set it to GPU, so I am cancelling this. And now you will go to runtime and run all. Okay, so you can see that it is running in the background, printing your output, loading your from disk, and accessing video stream. Then your video frames are processed over here. You can see this. And in the file section, a file naming output, myoutput.api will be appearing, the name that you have parsed over here, and you can download it after your full processing has been finished. I have downloaded my file and I am showing it to you. See, it's my output.api and I'm running it. Okay, I think that our model is predicting right. It is drawing right green and red boxes over the persons. So we are done with the GPU now, and I will tell you the process of training on CPU right now. Let's get back to the browser now, and I am going to my GitHub profile. I have uploaded various projects over here, and from there you should go to the social distance detection project, and you will get all the files related to this project and a perfect guidance to how to train it on CPU. I have also given the GPU training file over here, and don't worry, I will be showing you the process, the total process of training on CPU. You just go to the clone section and download the zip and unzip it. Here is my unzip folder, and you just open it with the terminal. Here is my terminal open, and after opening your terminal, you should create a virtual environment which is written over here, python 3 -m then. This vent is my virtual environment name. You can set it up as you wish. So I will not do this as I have my bin folder right here, but you must do this. So after creating your virtual environment, you should just activate this. I will activate it right now. See, my virtual environment is activated. And then you should just install the Python dependencies for this project, which is stored in this file in your terminal. I have all my dependency already installed, so it is showing me this message, but for your case the dependencies will be installed. And after the installation, we are almost done. We will just run this line of code to execute our file. So the time is here for counting our execution process time, and we are just running our social distance detector.py, which you can see over here, and we are setting our input at as pedestrian.mp4, and we want our output as output.api, and we want our display to show. So I am executing this, and you can see that it is showing your output and your video is being processed here. You can see the processing rate is quite slow, so we use the GPU for this reason, for faster FPS rate and faster training. And I am quitting it now with Q. So after you have quitted, the time will show how much time it has taken. So this was it. This was the whole training section. If you like the video, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe, because as I mentioned earlier, I have very few subscribers left to reach my 1000 subscriber goal. Signing off for today. You have tolerated me so much and I won't take more of your time. If you like the video, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe because as I mentioned earlier, I have very few subscribers left to reach my 1000 subscriber goal. Signing off for today.